Assalamu alaikum. My name is Aisha Sadiq Sularia, and today we are going to discuss about some planning work activities, and this is the session number 5 that we are going to cover. So let's begin with what is planning. See, as we have discussed that planning is the main function and it's the main first function of management. Planning we have discussed many times. Still we are going to have some basic understanding again that planning is basically the roadmap that where the organization wants to go, what will be the organization destination, what will be the track, what will be the routes that organization will follow or will consider while reaching to the destination. So this is what the planning is in nutshell. So let's look at the definition. Planning is defining the organization's goal, establishing strategy. Obviously, when the goal is decided, then we have to have some strategies so that we can reach or achieve those goals. Establishing strategies for achieving those goals and developing plans to integrate and coordinate work activities. Now, planning is done formally as well. What is formal planning? Specific goals covering a specific time period. It's like specificity is there and it's very clear, crystally clear that what are the goals that we have to achieve and what will be the time frame for it. Written and shared with organizational members. It's a shared activity. Formal plannings are always considered when each and every employees are aware of it and everybody knows about those plans. So these are the formal planning definition. Now, what are the reasons of planning? If I discuss some basic reasons for you, number one is that it provides direction. Obviously, when we have to reach somewhere, if we have some destination, so if we are not having the right direction, we are not going to reach our destination ever. So that's why planning becomes highly necessary, highly pertinent because it provides the direction of how and when we have to reach, where we have to reach, what instructions we have to follow, what would be the strategies. Everything get clears when we are planning. We have some plans. It reduces uncertainty. Obviously, when for example when we become prepared for something, for example if you are going in an examination hall and you are planned, you are prepared for the exam, definitely you are going to perform well. Similarly, if you are not having any plan in your mind, you are not planned, you don't know what you have to do in examination, you will end up in chaos, you will be uncertain about what the things will come. Definitely, similarly, this is what the situation is. When a plan is there for a company goes ahead with the plan, so they reduces uncertainty. The things become certain for them. They cover the aspects. They become aware of the things that how they have to tackle the problems, how they have to go ahead, what probable problems they can face. Everything get covers, and certainty becomes evident and uncertainty reduces. It minimizes the waste, obviously, when you are planned, so you don't do experiments. It reduces and minimizes the chances of waste and redundancy. Redundancy, we can say, the activities that are not longer in use or we not longer we need it. So we remove them, or those activities are also minimized when we are planned, so we don't repeat tasks oftenly. Alright, and planning sets the standards for controlling, as we have discussed, that it's the function that make us back to the track if we have lost the track. So it set the standard that how to be controlled, how the situation can be controlled if it has gone out of hand, what were the desired outcome that we were trying to reach and what actually happened. So it becomes easy to control, to compare desire with the actual. Okay, so what are goals and plans? As we have normally heard this words plenty of times, that these are the goals, these are the plans that we have. So what are goals? Goals are also known as objectives, desired outcome or targets. Whatsoever is your target and whatsoever you look forward to have, that is the outcome that you want to reach. So that is the goal, the desired outcome or target that you are trying to reach in your life. And what is the plan? Plan is the document that outline how goals are going to be met. For example, goals is the destination and plan is the route. How you will reach towards this destination, this is what the plan are going to decide and with the help of plan you are going to achieve those outcomes or target. Now there are certain types of goals. Number one, if we talk about first category, we are having financial goals. Financial goals, as it's evident with the name, finance means related to monetary values, related to money, related to the finances of the company. Financial goals means related to the expected internal financial performance of the organization, what profit the organization is going to make, what is the what are the possible expenses. All of the things that related to the financial perspective are considered as financial goal. Right, the financial performance of the organization is being evaluated here. Then we are having strategic goals related to the performance of the firm relative to factors in its external environment, example competitors, etc. So these goals actually suggest that what would be the possible strategies of the organization, how they are going to compete with the competitors, what steps they are going to take forward to sustain in the market, how they are going to grab the market shares, how they are going to be sustainable, etc., etc. So these are the strategic goals that organization has. Okay, so what are stated goals? A stated goal is what the company states to the public as the official mission, while the real goals are the actual targets that the company works on throughout the year. Right? This is what I have also written in example. I mean, as a definition, that official statements of what an organization says and what it wants its where various stakeholders to believe its goal are. And real goals are goals that an organization actually pursues as defined by the action of its member. I mean, how they strive, how they actually achieve those goals in an year, and how they're achieving those targets. These are the real goals. Now, what are strategic plans? These plans are known as the overall plans. We can also say holistic plan. Plans that are applied to the entire organization and establish the organization's overall goal. Right? Whereas operational plans are limited to a particular area of the organization, particular operational areas. For example, HR must be having their own operational plan. Marketing department has its own operational plan. Similarly, finance department has its own operational plan, etc., etc. So this is the visionary plan, we can say, and this is the limited plans that each operational area has, and they decide that what would be their strategies for the upcoming processes or how they are going to perform. This is the wide plan, this is the narrow plan. We can also, for basic understanding, we can also understand like this. So now if we talk about types of plans, we are having certain types of the plans. Number one is long-term plans. Plans with a time frame beyond 3 years. If you are having some plans that crosses the limit of 3 years, that those plans are considered as long-term plans. Alright. If we discuss about short-term plans, so the plan that are covering 1 year or less, see, the time frame matters a lot. We make some long-term plans in our life. For example, that when you decided to do bachelor's in business and administration, so it is the long-term plan that you have because it's going to take 4 years of your life, right? So this is the long-term plan that you have. And the short-term plans we can consider, for example, is the semester plan that you have, that how you have to clear the semester, which course you have to take, etc. These are the short-term plans because it's like covering 1 year or less. Your semester is composed of 4 months, so these are the short-term plans, that the plans or the strategies you develop within a year, so it's known as short-term plan. Then if we talk about what are specific plans, so plans that are clearly defined and leave no room for interpretation. Those the plan that are clear cut, clearly crystally clear, transparent, transculent, and clearly defined. So those plans are known as specific plans, whereas directional plans are flexible plans. Alright, those plans that are made in order to avoid uncertainty or things when you are not planned, you are not composed, you don't know how the situation will go ahead, so you make directional plans which are flexible in nature. Okay, so now let's discuss some approaches to setting goals. Number one is traditional goal setting. In traditional goal setting, The goals are set by the top management, or we can say the top managers. Goals set by the top managers flow down through the organization and become sub goals for each organizational area. The traditional perspective assumes that top managers know what's the best because they see the big picture, and the goals passed down to each succeeding level guide individual employees as they work to achieve those assigned goals. Alright, so this is what the traditional goal setting is. So now if I talk about what is means and change, when the hierarchy, I mean chain, when the hierarchy of organizational goal is clearly defined, it forms an integrated network of goals, which is known as means and change, which means higher level goals are linked to the lower level goals, which serves as the mean for their accomplishment. In simpler terms, if I say the goals achieved at lower level become the means to reach the goal ends at the next level, and the accomplishment of goals at that level becomes means to achieve the goals at the next level, and on up through the different organizational level. That's how the traditional organizational goal setting is supposed to work. Okay, instead of using traditional goal setting, many organizations use management by objectives MBO. It's a process of setting mutually agreed upon goals and using those goals to evaluate employee performance. MBO program, management by objective, has four elements. Number one is goal specificity, participative decision making, and explicit time period and performance feedback. Instead of using goals to make sure employees are doing what they are supposed to be doing, MBA uses goals to motivate them as well. The appeal is that it focuses on employee working to accomplish goals they have had a hand in setting, right? It's like that employees are completely involved in the process, and they are like sharing their feedback as well and working as a whole. Whilst studying MBO, there is a question that does MBO really works? So studies have shown that it can increase employee performance and organizational productivity. For example, one review of MBO program found productivity gains in almost all of them. And MBO is based on certain steps. There are 8 steps basically that formulates the MBO strategy. Number one is the organization overall objective and strategies are formulated. Alright. Second step is that major objectives are allocated among divisional and departmental units. They are aligned with what the organization goal is. Step number 3 is that unit managers collaboratively set specific objectives for their units with their managers. Step 4 becomes specific objectives are collaboratively set with all departments member. Obviously, when goals are specific and objectives got specific, they are collaborated and they are set with the department members, because the information is through to all the members, then only we can work and then only the goals can be achieved. Step number 5 is action plans, defining how, I mean the composition of action plans are made here, defining how objectives are to be achieved, what would be the strategies. All right. And those are and those objectives are specified and agreed upon by managers and employees. Step 6 is the actions are implemented. Progress towards objective is periodically reviewed. It's the monitoring process that we have discussed. That if you have done something, we have to review it as well, that are we on track or not, and feedback is provided. Successful achievement of objective is reinforced by performance based rewards. Those who have worked well and indicate, in the result of achievement success, the performance based rewards are also given to the employees. So it's the collaborated approach. MBO is the approach in which employees collaboratively work together and then they achieve the goals.